Hello. Welcome. This is The Perspective. My name is McCall.
I'm Mima.
And I'm Producer Butters.
And today we got to talk about some eyeballing, some banning, and all of the above. So before we get into it, we got to talk about FanX, which is going on this weekend. Kicks off tomorrow, which is wild to think about. But it does kick off tomorrow. Tons of pop culture people going to be there. Mandalorian, Backstreet Boys. The list goes on and on and on. Plus, kids on 10 and under get in for free. If you want a ticket, if you want to get tickets, discount code FanX. You use it at fanx.com. You use discount code FanX22. Forgot the 22 part. FanX22 at fanx.com. And you can get your discount. So, speaking pop culture related, a couple of months ago, Melina Bobadilla, she's from Orange is the New Black, right?
Yeah.
She was on a Southwest flight. I don't know if I can say Southwest. She was on a flight somewhere.
Going
Southwest. And she argued with the staff about a dress code. So there was a lady that was there. She was wearing a, quote, bustier top. And the staff asked her to cover up, basically, because they needed to be, quote, family friendly, and it needed to be more of a family friendly attire. So she witnessed the passenger being told to cover up. She demanded to know why there was an unwritten rule and dress code that other passenger should not be shamed for her clothing choices. So after multiple employees tried to de-escalate the situation, she then got banned from boarding the flight. And this situation, I'm baffled by. I haven't really seen any sort of response from that airline that's going Southwest.
That's interesting.
It is. It's a really interesting situation because
I mean, as long as you have a shirt on.
Yeah. I mean,
and pants.
What is it? High school? Like,
yeah. All right, everybody, lift up. If you can see your belly, you gotta have a longer shirt.
That's it. Sorry, get out.
If your pants are down, pull them up.
I think a lot of it, like her stepping up and just being like, why is there like an unsaid dress code, is kind of reflecting on what's happening in high schools as well.
Oh, I agree.
Like a lot of, not just like the girls students, but also the guys, the boys, they will go in crop tops. And if a girl gets dress coded and they don't, they're like, well, why am I not getting dress coded? We're wearing the same thing.
That's fair. I'm just reading through the Twitter thread right now because Southwest responded to her because she said, hey, I got pulled off of this flight because I advocated for a young woman being shamed and harassed by an employee. And Southwest responded and said, thank you for reaching out. We're sorry to hear that you were unable to travel to your destination as planned. Please send us a DM with your confirmation number as well as additional details about your experience you wish to share, and we'll follow up with you ASAP. Signed, Brenna. She responded, I don't have faith that this can be rectified via DMs, Brenna. Unless you are authorized to issue an official apology, reimburse me for all cost incurred related to booking new travel, and issue check for damages and emotional distress. And then there was no response. She said, I've called Southwest and been put on hold for over an hour on 2 separate calls. Nothing resolved because I couldn't keep waiting. But FYI, let corporate know I have an inbox full of DMs from major news outlets wanting to interview me and get more details. Also, I'm seeking legal counsel. Shady. Just the situation all in all. I mean, like Mima said, I agree. I think it's cool that she's actually making a statement, standing up for it in this situation. Because sorry, it's not my responsibility to wear what I'm wearing and to teach your children.
It's not my responsibility to raise your kids. Like, sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. So I don't know. That's the situation. Have you ever been banned from anything? Maybe it's a restaurant. Maybe it's a
ride at Lagoon.
A ride at Lagoon. What did you do?
Oh.
I'm excited.
I was younger.
Yeah.
Very much younger.
Right.
Of course.
And,
this was
Colossus,
6 months ago. Oh, yeah.
No. Would have been funny, though.
Yeah. Yes, the Colossus.
So on the Colossus, they take pictures.
Yeah.
And
no, you didn't.
Uh-oh.
Were there some birds that flew?
Mm-hmm.
I knew it.
Yeah. Birds got in the way, and
Dang
they got
birds.
mad because they
They
had to
hate
throw out all
birds.
of the photos, even though I think it was just the people behind us didn't.
That's
mind.
hilarious. I
And
think it's
so They
hilarious.
banned us, and then I just waited an hour and went back on it.
That's awesome. I think that's hilarious.
It was me and my cousin. We both
You
Freaking
both
saw
cousin.
birds flying.
So
Oh
wait
my
a second.
gosh.
How do they? Okay, this is the real question. How do they verify? Like, do they have a no Colossus riders list? Like they got a no fly list. Do they have
No.
or is it like a daily you can't come on today?
Like I don't know. They just said banned for life, and then
Okay,
they didn't do anything, so I just went back on an hour later.
it's the thing. I mean, what are they? How are they going to ban
There's so
you?
many people that go on the ride. How are they gonna know?
I know you're
It's
banned
not-
for life.
It's not like a major theme park in California or Florida where they have actual security guards.
right. They have
And
some
they
security
actually
there.
have pictures of people who are banned or whatever.
That's what I'm so curious about. Like, how do you get on a ban list that's officially oh, sorry, you can't go on this ride? You would have to be banned from the entire park
Basically.
I think they just tried to scare me because
Oh, yeah.
we were young.
because you were young. Absolutely,
And,
totally
you
agree.
know, parents weren't around.
That's right.
No parents.
I've thankfully never been banned from anything. I had a friend who got banned from an Applebee's
Oh.
because they were just weird conversations. But it's interesting to me. Again, how do you get banned from an Applebee's, and what do they do to verify that you're not going to come back in?
No idea.
No dollar
No
marks
idea.
for you. Like,
Oh no.
oh rats, what am I going to
Already ate,
do?
bye.
Dang
That's
it.
exactly it. I don't know. I'm confused by banning. Mima, have you ever been banned from anything?
No, I haven't. I was much less of a rebel growing up,
Me too.
so
I was pretty reserved.
I was a goody two shoes.
I was pretty reserved.
I mean, I was, but
You know. Yeah, I do know. So the conversation of being banned from the airlines, obviously talking about women, talking about eyeballing of women, I guess you could say. So leads into our conversation about women eyeballing each other. Like, this is interesting to me. I feel like we're in a cool generation where I think there's less competition, there's less hatred and vitriol towards other women from women.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with, I think it started, I'm not saying that millennials fixed it, but I think it started with millennials being like, why am I being pitted against my best friend? And then Gen Z just took it to another level and was like, no, we're not going to do this.
Gen Z was like misogyny. And so then that's where it all kind of came down to. But there's a list that Producer Butters has actually found of reasons why women eyeball each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this is necessarily in a bad way, like a jealousy type of a
I think it's
way?
like a comparison thing,
Yeah.
which honestly, one of the things that I've learned now that I'm older is not to compare myself with anybody else because it only stresses me out.
I agree. I mean, the only person that you can really compare yourself to is yesterday you, and whether you're doing better than they were. That's as far as that's all concerned. I do think that sometimes it's good to see where other people are and see how they're doing so you can aspire for different things.
Yeah.
But I think this what's the word? This lack type mentality of oh, well, they don't have it, so I'm worth less because of them having it. That's not, get out with that kind of
yeah. I was gonna
mindset.
say, I don't think that's just necessarily women. I think
No.
men do it too. They just don't talk about it.
I agree. I think
I think it's a human thing.
it is. I mean, everybody sees what other people have, and it's I want that. It's lust. It's desire. That's kind of, I think, where the standpoint comes from.
Grass is always greener on the other side.
Always.
Yeah.
Then you
That's
get
when
over there, and
then
it's
it's like, ew.
it's just painted.
Like, this is great, but this sucks.
It's painted, but it's really
Yeah.
dead underneath.
I did it. I'm on the other side, and now my Shoes are green.
I'd be curious. I'd be curious on this list whether it's relative to, it's not gender specific. So, we can go through it, see what producer Butters thinks as far as this goes. But some of the reasons women eyeball each other, 64% of people say they do a style once over. Like, I enjoy seeing what other people are wearing fashion wise and being like, oh man, that's cool. I want to wear that kind of a thing, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But not from like a I'm less than because type of a situation. Is it the same for men doing a style once over?
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay. I can't answer for you. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm clueless. Yeah,
to that. I get like a lot of my inspiration for like wardrobe based on what other people wear and just be like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah. But
that's what I do. I can't speak for all men. So
okay. So 58% of women say that they wonder how that supposed Wonder Woman, Superwoman, balances her career, social life, family, love life, and checkbook. Here's the answer: she doesn't.
She's like a minute from a mental
breakdown. She can't. Nobody, like, the balance doesn't exist. No. You have to figure out how they coexist.
So what it is it's superficial.
Yeah, it is. It's superficial. I think there's a lot, but it's not superficial from like a I want everybody else to see that I have it all put together type of a way. It's superficial from it's not socially acceptable to talk about how I don't have it put together. Like, it's more of a like, oh, well, you can't get it together. We've had this conversation over and over again about how women can't say that it's been stressful or whatever because they become emotional or hormonal over it. But like a man's like, oh man, it's a tough day at work. It's like, oh dude, yeah. Drink a brewski or whatever. It's like, oh, well, this woman can't handle her ish, basically.
Yeah, basically, if you aren't able to balance your career, social life, family, love life, and checkbook, you're basically a disaster. You're either a bad mom or a bad sister or a bad employee or
creates lack in a different department.
Or you're the crazy dog lady that's going to be alone forever because she can't hold down a man.
Yep. Or you're creating... If you need to be more busy to be able to get your mind off of, basically, instead of just embracing it as it is. It's a freaking crazy mess.
It is.
Everything's a crazy mess. And we're all just living it day by day.
Yeah, I've embraced the crazy dog lady, though.
Good.
I'm like, yeah, that's what I am. I'm a crazy dog lady.
Good.
I'll probably be single. It's fine.
That's the thing. It's like you're just solid in your own self, and that's what matters. Being solid in own self. Assessing the career status in relation to age, 33% of people do it. Again, this comes back to that comparison thing that we were talking about a little bit ago. Not necessarily being like jealous of, but more so like, oh, am I catching up? Am I keeping up with standards, etc.? I think. Wondering if family relationships are getting better or worse than other women's, 28%. I can honestly speak to this and think, I think quite often, like, nobody else is in this same kind of a situation. Like, I see other people and they're like, oh yeah, me and my sister talk every day. Me and my brothers talk every single day. And it's like, I don't talk to anybody in my family ever.
This is my communication, and this is how my family knows I'm alive. They either check fate, like any social media. If I'm not on there, we have a siblings chat that we just share memes. So if they don't see my ha 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 and in a few days, they're like, Mima, are you okay?
You good?
You okay?
You good? Are you good?
I guess I send TikTok videos to my sister, but my other siblings, I don't really talk to very often. My mom, I talk to every once in a while. My dad, it's once in a blue moon. Like, same. I just wonder if for me personally, I wonder if other people's family dynamics are similar.
I think for me is I honestly forget. And then it's
I don't see you. You don't exist. I'm sorry.
It's like it's like midnight, which is 2:00 in Georgia, 2 a.m. in Georgia, and it's like, well, it's too late to call my mom. I'll call her tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, and I get busy and
forget.
I forget. Yeah.
I guess my situation's a little different, but I don't really talk to my sister too much. I mean, other than she stops by, but my parents are close, so
Yeah.
I see them
All the time.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when I lived in Georgia, I mean, I would see my family every day, but that's because we lived together or they lived an hour away, so I could literally drive.
See, my family
wasn't
lives
like
like 20 minutes away. I still don't see them.
Oh.
Like, I saw my family on Monday, saw my mom and my sister, and we went and got pedicures, and it was really nice. And then I will probably see them again mid-October, maybe December. I don't really know. We'll see. Some of the other people comparing their educational pedigrees, I don't really care about that. 25% of people say that that's what they compare. Sizing up women's financial stability. Sure, but also like, I don't know. I more so want to know like how they did it.
Basically, yeah. I'm like, how?
Right. And then navigate it for myself. But it's not, again, not like a comparison type of a thing. Producer Butters, is that something you, in like manliness, they do?
I don't know.
I feel like that one honestly would be higher
For
percentage wise.
for
I
men,
guess I
yeah.
can see that, but I guess my perspective, I don't really see it as men or women. I just see people
Right.
like with the financial thing. I was
Right.
like, what is it they're doing that?
Right. Like
Yeah.
everybody kind of wants to know.
I just assume everybody's rich. You're rich.
That's fair. You're rich. Thanks. Checking out romantic status, 14%. Sure. 14% sneaking a peek at toned arms and legs. Sure. Again, I'm like, hey, good for you. You're working out. Cool.
Yeah.
What are you doing
Yeah.
to, yeah.
Yeah. Probably going to the gym more than me. All the time more than me. I'm going today, but
I have a treadmill at home. And
So do I.
It's kind of like a coat hanger at the moment.
yeah. Mine's not really a coat hanger, but
That's what I call it.
I found out
Coat
mine's
hanger.
unplugged.
Cool.
I went down there and I was like, what? Went down yesterday morning. So I came upstairs. I was like, Dustin, why is the treadmill unplugged? And he's like, oh, it was making a weird noise. So I unplugged it. I was like, it's probably a good idea.
Well, you're supposed to unplug them,
But I-
especially if they're from a certain company that's headquartered here.
Oh.
You're supposed to unplug them when
Interesting.
not in use.
Interesting. What about the ones at the gym?
They're always getting.
Yeah,
used.
they're always in use.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, good to know. Good to know. Anybody else? I mean, anything else that we're like missing on this list of reasons why people eyeball each other?
I guess. What attractiveness?
Attractiveness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Prettiness.
Yeah.
Confidence, I think, is something that I really admire in people. And I like to look at what they're doing to be able to exude said confidence. I was in a, excuse me, sorry. I was at a event last week in Sandy, and Gail Miller showed up, who, if you don't know who Gail Miller is, she's one of the big icons of the state of Utah. She's done a lot for philanthropic situations and events, and she's done a lot. And she walked in the room, and it was like I could feel her presence before I even saw her. I was like, somebody powerful just walked into this room, and I saw her. I was like, hi, what am I don't know what to say in this situation, you know, but it was like she had this like quiet confidence. It was the coolest thing to experience. I talked to my therapist about it. I was like, how do I get that? I didn't like his answer, but still, he said, you got to be comfortable with your own self. And you've got to, what did he say? Basically, however much is left done or undone at the end of the day, I am enough. And I was like, why did you have to tell me that? Because that's the last thing that I want to work on right now.
Well, one of the things that I learned apparently about myself, I don't know if I exude that here because I mean, I've been living here for almost 4 years, but I feel like it's still kind of foreign to me.
Right.
But when I went home to Georgia and because I was living in California for 2 years and then I went back to Georgia, I met this guy, and like after like a few months of being in the classroom with this guy, he's like, Mima, you have such a big personality. And I was like, I do? I do? He's like, yeah, you walk in and like everyone notices you. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I did it. I don't know if I do that here. I don't know.
Yeah. I think recognizing it and then also understanding it is, I mean, one of the big things that thankfully my therapist was like, yeah, this is what you need to focus on. I was like, great. So spending time to actually, I think the familiarity and the comfort level of it is what kind of sets it apart. Because being familiar with your own self, being comfortable with your own self, like I can walk into this building and I know exactly where everything is. I know exactly where my microphone is. I know exactly how all of this is. And I'm confident in that. But it's like, I don't think a lot of people spend time actually understanding internally and getting familiar with that. So other people get familiar with it, I guess. But anyway.
You can learn it over time, though.
Yeah. And I think I agree. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. I think the older I get, the more I realize that it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you got this.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And less like pressure to have to do everything all at the same time. Again, back to that like big point of how is it that people find all of their balance between this, that, and the other thing? They don't.
You just wing it.
You just wing it.
Just wing it.
And then if it's not done at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, because most likely nobody cares.
Nobody
Yeah,
cares.
nobody cares.
And you know how much I hate that? So much.
Because the only person you have to live with the rest of your life is
It's
yourself.
you.
Yep, it's true. It's true. Any final thoughts on being banned or eyeballing other people / I don't know, jealousy, comparison, etc.?
You are enough.
Yeah.
You're enough.
Amen.
If your house is a mess right now, it's okay.
It is.
Mine is too. It's fine.
It's fine. There's
Mine's a
nothing.
complete mess.
There's nothing wrong with having your house a mess.
No.
Mine's a disaster.
It's okay. If you need a break, take it.
Yep.
It's okay.
And your best is good enough.
Yes.
So,
More than good enough.
yep. Leave it all on the table and walk away. These are things that I'm learning right now. So I'm only speaking from a very uncomfortable place right now because I'm trying to figure it all out.
Oh.
So anyway, this has been